And we're off to this story next as the African continent is pushing for the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The business communities from South Africa and Nigeria are meeting in Johannesburg. South Africa and Nigeria are the leading economies on the continent. Kailihle Kumalo, SABC News reporter, now joining us live. Kailihle, good morning and thank you so much for making time for us. Important conversations when it comes to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What discussions are we expecting to be heard during this meeting?
Well, very much so, Aldrin. Quite a very important discussion here in Johannesburg between these two leading economies in Africa, Nigeria and South Africa. And of course, it's quite a very pivotal moment because you talk about the African Continental, a free trade area. That's a very game changer for the continent in terms of the enhancement of intra-Africa trade. You know, it remains one of the biggest concerns that it's still less than, 15%. And there are so many opportunities that these two giants can explore. But let's hear from some of the people in attendance here. Mr. Samuel, sir, we're just talking off air about the importance of today, that, enhancement of trade. As a businessman, what are some of the opportunities that the two countries should look at?
Well, being here in South Africa, there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, going back in the days like 1999, 2000, there has been a lot of trade between South Africa and Nigeria. The two presidents then, Obasanjo and Mbeki, come together and formed a bilateral trade agreement that was going through between the two countries. And the mineral resources are being exchanged, but here we are producing, selling here in South Africa, also selling in Nigeria. Nigerians are producing, so there's a bilateral trade going on. What is manufactured here is being sold in Nigeria, and what is manufactured in Nigeria is also being sold in South Africa. So I think the interactive session today will also give opportunity for people to come together, discuss about their business, and see the opportunity out there so that we keep growing the economy of the two countries.
And just in terms of the people-to-people contact, Samuel, from time to time we see like these sporadic incidents, where there's violence, some of the Nigerians caught up. How do we try and improve the people-to-people interaction?
Psychologically, you see, if you look at the number of Nigerians here, you will also understand that majority of the population of Nigerians in South Africa are actually doing genuine business. But the general phenomenon is always that when one hand picks oil, it's like it's touching every other hand, and thereby creating a negative impact to the society against the people that are actually working, earning a living. So I think people need to be more open-minded to understand that the average Nigerian here is working to earn a living. Is not out here for violence, committing crimes or anything. So I think this will also give opportunity for the South Africans here today to understand the importance of the community, Nigerian community here, and understand that they are also here to survive genuinely and not minding what is being pursued outside. Actually, the 4% of the people, the population of South Africa, 4% is foreigners. But when one talks, it's like it's generalized. Everybody is a criminal. So I think this will give opportunity for people to understand that there are decent human beings coming from Nigerians and are here also supporting the economy and growing the economy of South Africa. The same way you have South Africans in Nigeria. They're also working and growing. We also have elements of South Africans in Nigeria that commit crime, but we're not going to say every South African is a criminal.
All right. Thank you so much indeed for that, Samuel. Of course, Aldrin, quite a very significant moment because you have about 120 South African companies that are well established and playing quite a very important role in terms of the Nigerian economy. But Access Bank is one of the players as well that's here, and the executive from the bank joins us now. So, sir, tell us about the role that you're here to play in terms of Access Bank.
Well, as you know, Access Bank is a Pan-African bank. and our role is to be the gateway to finance for businesses in Africa. So today, Access Bank is present in 13 African countries, including Nigeria and South Africa, and also we're also present in Europe, in UK, and we've also just opened a subsidiary in France, Paris, exactly. So for us, it's about facilitating trade between African countries, and that is what we're here to do. You really can't say given the size of the South African economy, you really can't say that you're facilitating trade if you're not also present in South Africa. So today, this is our second year in South Africa. We came in here, we started operations in May 2021, and it's been quite an eventful journey. And we're today partnering with the Nigerian High Commission to meet with the business community in South Africa, Nigerians and South Africa alike, and get a feel of what the needs and the perceptions are to find a way to continue to provide banking services, especially as it pertains to trade for the business communities in South Africa.
And how are you finding the South African markets? Obviously, there are a litany of challenges, all over the world in terms of the cost of living crisis and, just the financial sector in the continent really going through a very tough time, just like your counterparts all over the world. But how are you navigating, these territories?
Well, for us, we've always, for Access Bank, we always said that times of challenges present opportunities for growth, right? And that has always been we found that our most impressive growth periods have been periods of challenges in the economy. So for us, is to find out how we can tap into the opportunities, use the weakness and the challenges as strengths to deepen the economy. And we've always successfully done that, right? Yes, I mean the global economy is having a bit of a downturn, but again, within that, it lies opportunities, and that is where we're here, what we're going to do.
And just before I let you go, sir, the talking point, obviously, it's the Continental Free Trade Area. What role can Access Bank play and your, just people in the very financial sector?
Yeah. Well, part of the challenges with trade in Africa has been remittances. How do we move funds across? And just a couple of weeks ago, we entered into agreement with the Pan-African Payment System, PAPS, which has been put up by Afrexim to facilitate trade. We also have our own products that we are offering, Access Africa, that enables businesses move funds within the African continent and above. So, yeah, there are opportunities, and this is what we are here to provide services to the communities.
So thank you so much indeed for your time. So Aldrin, it's going to be a very fruitful day here in Johannesburg as, the business people in so many sectors as well are exploring opportunities between South Africa and Nigeria.
A button, you can communicate, all of us in this room, by a single touch, and all of us will get the message about the same time. So that has cut off the time lost and has reduced the job of post offices. I don't even know where the post office in my area is located now. But in those days, we rely on post office to bring the messages, the letters, the parcels every morning. Specifically, some of the benefits that Nigeria and South Africa, the two biggest economies in sub-Saharan Africa, stand to gain from the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreements are: 1, intra-African trade, investment and business knowledge as well as skills transfer will be enhanced. Yeah. Let me therefore say that our appetite has already been whet by the African Union for making the Africa Continental Free Trade Area a reality, with the headquarters located in Ghana and the first executive director or director general is from South Africa. So what more do we need? Sub-Saharan Africa has taken the lead. The Director General, who is from South Africa, sitting there in Ghana, which is in West Africa, a stone throw from Nigeria, gives us a good access. So without mincing words, let me just summarize by saying all ideas that are going to be planted in this room are ideas that we are going to water them to germinate. And fortunately, like I told you, we have the government present here with us. The government will use those brilliant ideas we are going to get here today to fertilize business and investment opportunities between our two countries. And to conclude, I will assure you that we in the High Commission and the consulates are doing everything possible to ensure that the next bi-national commission meeting, which is going to be held in South Africa here, between the last week of November and the first week of December, would meet an area that has already been properly discussed and properly focused for only the two presidents to say we agree. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all once again, and good morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency, for that wonderful welcome remarks. At this point, I think we should just go for the appetite. I'm hungry. Just take the break, then we'll continue with other activities of the agenda as already penciled down. Please, bon appétit, messieurs et madame.
That was the Nigerian High Commissioner to South Africa, Mohammed Haruna Manta, there on that meeting that is taking place, and also looking at ways around how do you actually exploit the mineral resources, first of all, of the various countries, and the intellectual properties of these countries as well, and make sure that the whole continent as a whole benefit from this, as we know that the African Continental Free Trade Area is now in full swing.